Hi, everybody. It's Angel, and welcome to season 2 of my show. This is a show where we talk about everything energetic. Well, it looks like I am able to do my show from my backyard, which I am really excited about because I love the outdoors. Everybody knows I love nature. And that's a really, really big thing for me because my reality is that everything is connected. Now, today is a very, very interesting topic we're going to be talking about, so I'm hoping we have a lot of people. Our show today or my show today, it's really our show, is about business. And I find that that's a really, really important one to embrace when it comes to our intuitive abilities, because we have to listen to our instincts when it comes to business. And we get bogged down in other things that take us away from our instinct. And then we wonder why we're not successful. There are so many factors in creating a business that is fulfilling. It's not just about financial success. And this is the big thing people need to understand. The big thing that we need to understand is that when it comes to business, there's a huge shift coming. Now, before I even start, I know we're going to have some new people watching today. So my name is Angel Morgan, and I am the owner of a company called Raising Energy. You can check out our website. We've actually just updated it, raisingenergy.com. Instagram at Raising Energy, and also at Angel Morgan Pet Psychic. And this is a really big thing too. Social media. It's so different than, say, 10 years, 5 years, 20 years ago. My reality is we're going to cover a few things today when it comes to business. First of all, we're going to talk about the business owner, the person who is at the head of the ship, and why different companies feel different ways, because we are the head of the ship. Our energy is what we put into that, and that's what dictates the people that come to the company, not just the clientele, but the actual staff that we work with. We draw our tribe to us, but this is not about friendship or family even. Our business family is a tribe that we draw to us too. So our energy exudes through our business. So I ran a theater company for 20 years. And if you looked at all of my shows and all of my productions, they all had my earmark on them. They all had my energy on them. When you looked at my casts, they all connected in a certain way because I was there auditioning them. I was there from the beginning producing this particular show, whatever it was. And you could see that how this cast melded really was a reflection of the person who owned the company and the production people that worked on it. Hi, Nancy, how are you? And that's really where I learned this, that the person at the helm of the ship is the person who's really going to create the foundational colors of any project that they're on. Sir Andrew Lloyd Webber is a really good example of that. He's the guy who wrote Cats and Phantom of the Opera. He's got an indelible mark on each of those shows because his personality moves through it. One of his biggest things is that it's great to bring people onto a show, but you can't get bogged down in technique. There has to be a flow. There has to be a freedom in the stuff that in the art that you create. It can't be all about by rote and routine. And if you see his shows, that really reflects, especially in something like Cats. You see the free flow of the choreography. Even in Phantom of the Opera, there's a beautiful flow in it. And that's a really big thing. So when you look at a project, remember that you're not just looking at a project, you're looking at the person who is heading that project. Do you want to be a part of that project, right? Based on who is the owner of the company, the people that he's hired, all of these different things. Now, let's turn that over to us as owners, us as people who are entrepreneurs. Now, for those of us in Canada, because I know, there are so many people internationally who are going to watch this, the reality is that we are very, very entrepreneurial. We are one of the top countries in the world that is entrepreneurial. And now that we are sitting in this isolation, this COVID, it's giving us time to really sit back and ask ourselves, ask ourselves, how do we do business? What do we want to do with our lives? I was asked just recently by someone, do you think, Angel, that this is going to go more the way of people working from home? Yes. Yes, I do. I see that because companies are starting to move towards a more compassionate way of working. They're starting to see that people who are relaxed, people who have their home environment are going to go one of two ways. Either they're going to be really, really disciplined, get up at a certain time, do their work, what have you, or they're going to mess about. My particular thing has always been, I don't care what you do so long as you get your work done. So this is also going to talk about schooling as well later, because our children are being readied for a workforce that is very different than what we're used to. But we're going to get to that. I'm going to try and make this an organized show because there's so much to cover. As an energetic, as a psychic, I have run many companies in my life, whether it was a theater company, a construction company. Now I run a company that is about spirit. But it has to be in balance, right? I still have to do my books and I got to keep my receipts and I have an accountant and, people I have to be accountable to. So how do you work on an energetic level and still keep up with all of those things in life that are necessary? One foot in this world and one foot in the other is what I was always taught. Now, in this particular show, hi guys, hi everybody. In this particular show, please feel free at any time to ask questions about business and energy, business and intuition, because that is really what this is about. This particular show is going to talk about how to use your intuition in business. But you can't do that until we lay the ground. And the laying of the ground is your business is you. Your business is who you are and a reflection of you. And I don't care what the business is. It can be artistic, it can be corporate, it can be labor-oriented. It doesn't matter. My reality is that it is who you are. So if I'm having a bad day, I will guarantee you that the next few days, my clientele base is going to drop because the energy I put into my company is what is going to reflect back in my clientele and in my finances. And it's not immediate. Really interesting thing. People think energy happens like that. Sometimes it does, but understand thoughts are things. So when you put an energy out there, it has to go out to the universe and come back. So what's going to happen is you may have a couple of really crappy days, but you won't see those crappy days reflect in your business for, say, 3, 4, 5 days. Right? And then all of a sudden you're going to have a crappy couple of days in business. Cheryl, hi, hope you had a great birthday. Did you see anything for me regarding my career? I am going to do readings today, absolutely. But that's going to be in the second half of the show because I want to make sure that we cover some things first and I remember how to do it. Cheryl, right now I don't, but there is some movement happening for you. I have to tell you because this is coming through. And there's some really nice flow, but you got to keep doing what you're doing. Don't give up because I see you really focused on what is my movement forward. But you're focusing on you, and that is what I like. And the reason I'm doing that reading is because it ties in exactly into this segment. When we work on us, when we are specific about what we want, why are you doing what you do? Why? The why, really, really important. All of a sudden, that why seeds and it becomes and it grows. Okay, and it becomes, and all of a sudden it manifests out here. Because anything we feel in here has to reflect out here. And this includes business. We talk about family. We talk about friendships. We talk about all the personal stuff. But the reality is that this also exudes into our professional lives. And when we take care of us, people will see that. They'll not only see the joy, they'll not only see the strength that we have because we are in alignment with what we want to to put out there, to offer to offer society. But we also know for ourselves because it's our truth. It feels good. It feels grounded. Now, it took me a long, long, long time to really understand what my why was. Just recently, I went back on my career. Thank God for Facebook, because I went over my Facebook posts over the years from when I actually started, which was 2005. If you'll believe it. And I was going over all my posts, and there was this one thread that kept coming up and kept coming up and kept coming up, which was, you are intuitive. You can empower yourself through your own intuitive ability. And it was funny because after I realized what my why is, which is I want to help people understand that they themselves have this gift and that they themselves are intuitive and they themselves can utilize this in every aspect of their lives, I was very quickly told, yes, but doesn't that take away from your business? Because if people can use their own intuition, why would they need you? Yeah, absolutely. Because that's the whole point. It's like a doctor. A doctor has patients, but the doctor wants patients to be well. The doctor wants their patient not to need them, not to make them necessary. But there are patients out there who are not going to become doctors. So the doctor will always be valid, right? So for me, there are those who easily connect. And then there are those who want someone to help them connect. And that's why I will always be relevant, just like any other job. Really, that's the truth of it. This is also why I don't see competition, because the reality is there are so many billions of people in the world, there aren't enough readers, there aren't enough lawyers, there aren't enough doctors, there aren't enough school teachers to really touch base with every single person, and every single person is different. So that means that they're going to need someone who is on their vibe. So because I understand this motivates me to continue, because I've heard this so many times. How am I unique? I run a travel agency. How am I unique? You know, I'm a construction worker. You're unique because you're you, and what you have to offer is actually very energetic and just manifesting itself in a physical way. So when we look at running a business, the first thing we have to do is look at, why are we running this business? And making sure that we're in balance enough with ourselves to be able to do that. And that's really what makes a success. My hero in business is Sir Richard Branson. He is the bee's knees to me. And what's really cool about him is that he really understands the whole idea. In fact, this is the title of one of his books. If it's not fun, don't do it. Don't do it. Now, why do you think, as an audience, I want to hear your comments here. I want to hear your loves. I want to hear all this stuff. Why do you think that is? If it's not fun, don't do it. What is the point in that statement? I want to hear from you guys, and I want to hear your thoughts on that. Okay? Why should it be fun? You know, we have for so many years been conditioned that you got to go to work so you can make money and you have to be responsible. So if it's fun, don't do it. Well, that seems rather reckless and irresponsible to me. Well, it's not. It really isn't. So here's the thing. Debbie says, I will try my camera, but I thought after listening as being by travel biz, why do people need me is what I always think. And I know the answer, but now during what has happened with COVID, wondering when and where. Please, P.S. Sir Richard Branson was also my fave. He is awesome. My reality is this. When you have fun with the things that you do, you are lifting your vibration. You are activating who you are, which is going to take you to the next step in your career. Okay? I don't care what that career is. Thank you, Carmel. Carmel's got it right. She says, I think it needs to be a passion. Yes, but what if you're in a job that you've been in for the last 15 years and you're just not passionate about it anymore? You have choices. You can find the passion in it. You can try and look at a different perspective on your job, which I've done many times. You know, there are times when I'm just like, okay, you know what? I need to evolve within my career because I love my career, but I'm feeling stagnant. I'm feeling stale. Well, how do you do that? You go and you work on you. What does that mean? You go find things that are fun to do that actually distract you from the things that are not, so that you have room for inspiration. Go to the gallery, go for a run, spend time with your family, read books, write about it. That's a big one. Write about how you're feeling, because you're actually putting things in a trash can and allowing inspiration to come. And when we write, what happens is we actually start to have this conversation that opens everything up and actually leads us to the solution. Why do we feel what we feel? Why are we feeling stagnant? Why are we feeling bored? Have we just grown out of this career? Have new people come? Have the policies changed? Then that comes to the second option. Okay, maybe it's time for me to transition, to move on to something else. My vibration is higher. It's time to move. Nancy says, she says, oh, I love that profile pic. If you're not having fun, then you're not living your truth and honoring who you are and how you can be of service to the world. I love that. I absolutely phenomenally love that answer, because it's true. The reality for me is that when you are speaking your truth, you will understand why you're doing what you're doing. What can I do to change this? Is it time to change the actual job or me within my perspective of that job? And this could be for owners as well, because there comes a point when some owners will actually turn around and go, I'm done, I'm finished. But you've got to understand why, okay? Dr. Phil, as much as he's not my favorite, has always said that until you are at peace, you cannot leave a relationship. Now, that is about personal relationships, but you know what? It also stands for business, because the reality is that if you're at peace with moving forward from your job, or you're at peace with the transition that you feel needs to happen, it's time. But if you're still in turmoil about it, you're still questioning, you're still fighting it, you've got to sit down and ask yourself, why am I fighting it? What is my truth? Okay, so Nancy, that's just absolutely perfect. Thank you for that. Absolutely. But I also like what Carmel said. She said, you know, you have to be passionate about what you do. Absolutely, you do. So I'm going to now, give everybody the wonderful, wonderful link to our show. Please remember, you need to turn off and turn on your computer in order for you to be able to join me. A laptop or desktop is ideal for this situation. You are not going to be able to catch me on an iPad well or a phone well with this particular platform. So if you want to join me, you're more than welcome. Make sure you have access to your camera as well. These are important things just simply because of the app that we're using. All the apps are like this. They all have the same issues. So when it comes to business, I would love to sit and talk to people about their business, about what they've put into their business energetically. And if you have questions, please comment. Let me know if you have questions about your business. You're more than welcome. Avril says, are any of my departed dogs coming through? We're going to get to those questions a little bit later, but I really want to focus on business right now. So hang on one second. I just want to do this and reload that. Passionate about who you are and what you are. Okay, so our first guest today is going to be Debbie. Hang on a second, let me get you in here. Hi, Debbie, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh my God, you can hear me and I can see you. Holy crap.
I'm on the desktop. Woo!
We're doing the computer dance, the computer success dance. So talk to me about your business, because I know that you work energetically. Talk to me about your business. Let's have a chat about that.
Okay, so I've been in the travel business for 40 years now. As you know, I've been laid off. We're going into 3 months.
Hang on. What's the name of your business so everybody knows?
Uniglobe Adventure House Travel.
Okay, you guys got that? Uniglobe Adventure House.
You hear that?
Yes, we got that. Okay,
right.
So sorry.
So they're not ready to bring us back yet. They still have us slated for June 29th. Mm-hmm. But I personally don't feel that. I think it's going to be later, because we're in the luxury business. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm in the travel business is because I love people. I've been known to go over and above for my people. And, you know, during this time off, I have found out on how much those people care about me. Mm-hmm. And I never knew this until this time. So everything happens for a reason. Yeah. So my last thing was saying to you is that travel and music, like, honestly, I tell my other half, I really thought I was going to concerts and traveling to the day I died, but that's not what happened. Mm-hmm. And I find with travel and music that there's been too many restrictions put on. So with Debbie, when you put too many restrictions on me, yeah, I start going, whoa.
Yep.
And that's it. So I don't know how all of this is going to go forward with the travel business and how we're going to handle people and how, and I hate to say this to this audience because I'm trying not to be negative, but how am I going to promote my clients when I'm a little bit paranoid?
Yeah, no, but you know what? That's not a negative. You're saying what other people are feeling right now, right? And when in the beginning, I kind of felt that too. I kind of felt like, well, how am I going to move this forward? Because people are going to want to see me. I'm not really online. I'm not really. The biggest thing for you is I have a question. Why do you do this? Why do you do work with a travel agency? Why? What is your why?
The why is I love people. Mm-hmm. Although there are times where I need to isolate myself due to being very empathic.
Okay, but that's everybody.
Many energies. Yeah, so I back off a little bit. But other than that, I'm going to say in the past tense for a moment, it was the free spirit. I've just taken off, and man, I have done so many things over the years that I could tell you I wouldn't do today.
So your why is you love people and you love freedom, right?
Yeah.
Right now, there's no freedom. No. And it's a really interesting thing because I think those two whys, you have to start looking about what's coming, not where you are. So on an energetic level, it is about freedom. So start promoting this as, hey, when this opens up, I can give you that freedom that you're looking for. It's going to be so amazing because the freedom is going to feel so much better. And I love you enough to share with you that this is what's coming. And now you're lit up inside, right? Yeah. Even your face has changed. I don't know if you guys out there can see that, but now there's this like really wonderful light coming from you because this is what we do. And this is I'm really happy that you're able to sit with me today because this is what we do in business. We focus on the now. We focus on the before, but we've got to focus also on the future, not obsess on the future. What makes a great success is somebody who remembers the past. Yes?
Oh boy, yeah.
Somebody who remembers the past, but is able to not dwell on it. Yes? Somebody who can look to the future, right? But not obsess on it. And somebody who can play right here in the present. So you're really good at playing. So what I want you to do from an energetic perspective is I want you to dream about what it's going to be like when everything opens up travel-wise for you particularly. And then I want you to take that feeling, I want to take those dreams, and I want you to present it to other people as a promotion.
Well, I'd like to, but I'm not allowed to be in touch with any of my clients till I'm back in that job. They took our PC, all our passwords. We're not allowed.
That's fine, but you can start dreaming about it now. You can start thinking about it. You can start planning it. I can't see people on a personal basis. But for me, what I'm doing is I'm starting to think about, okay, what's it going to look like when we go back, right? Because, my Toronto office is closed. I can't go back until the actual building is open again. What is that going to look like? What days am I going to work? How am I going to promote that, right?
May I share a little secret with you?
Sure.
With everybody? What I've been doing lately, which I'm not, my other half's the dreamer. I'm usually the realistic gal all the time. Mm-hmm. So if we can come in the middle, that'd be great. But I've been manifesting a lot about moving out of here, moving into the country. And I said to Eric the other night, I said, he says, you're dreaming? I said, yeah, here it is. So I pictured what my house looks like, what the path looks like.
Yeah.
I'm going to have an office and all my travel pictures will finally be up. I'm going to be working for a company from home. That's what I've been manifesting.
Perfect. That's exactly what every business owner should be doing right now. This is a real blessing that you were able to come on because this is a fantastic talk with a real business owner who's been doing this for a long time. This has really affected you. Now you're looking to the future. Yeah. What do I want for me? Because when you are selfish and you look to you first, you are actually benefiting others by that. right? Because for you, that move is a sense of freedom. So long as you keep your sense of freedom and your sense of love of people, you're going to be just fine. And you know what? You said earlier, I don't want to seem negative. You're not. You're saying what other people are feeling as well, and you're opening up a conversation. This is really important too. So Carl, my man, he actually went golfing with a friend of his the other day. Had a terrible day, just terrible. It was his first time out on the course because of COVID. And what's really, really interesting is a friend of his texted him this morning, was telling him how wonderful a time he had golfing and how good it was. And he wrote this incredible text that was so funny. And he made golf a woman and how she is so difficult and this and that. I thought it was so funny. So some of us actually deal with our hiccups, right? With humor. And I'm finding a lot of business owners are doing that too. They're finding the joy in the isolation. They're finding the joy in this. You know what? No, I'm not at work right now, but you know what? I'm going to focus on me. I'm going to focus on my family. I'm finding a lot of business owners have now opened up a blog, which is great. So that might be something you want to do too. Right now, you can't go back, but why not start writing articles, just little posts even on Facebook that talk about your experience in the travel industry. What do you miss about it? What are you looking forward to? You know, some funny experiences, all of those different things. People love that. Am I right? Give me some loves and likes if I'm right? Everybody wants to hear about the human experience. It's a really fun thing when you get to talk about your intuitive being. Now, I know there are people out there too who work with animals, and that's a really big thing too, because it's a hard time for us. So I'm going to say thank you to you, Debbie, and I'm going to let you
say thank you.
Oh, God, no, thank you. I really appreciate it. All right, we will talk to you soon, my love.
Absolutely.
So I'm open to sitting with everybody right now. We're going to talk a little bit about business owners and animals, because it's really hard right now for business owners who love animals to stay positive, to stay moving forward. The reality is that, again, it comes to how can you self-fulfill to keep your objectives moving forward? How can you say to yourself, okay, this is what I have, this is what I've got in front of me. How do I, when I can, how do I, what's the word? How do I expand? Thank you. How do I expand on that in the time to come? This is a time for dreaming. It really is. And that's a big thing too. Because you're dreaming, you are going to manifest. So what happens when you manifest? What happens when your dreams start coming true? Because I guarantee you, if you're specific about what you want, if you allow yourself to dream, and that will come into reality. I know it sounds frou-frou. I know it sounds, law of attraction 101, but this is the truth. The law of attraction 101 talks about manifestation. What I'm talking about is being really specific, knowing your truth, allowing yourself to dream that truth into being. And that doesn't just mean sit on your backside and do nothing. It means when you start to dream, take tiny steps. My show is a perfect example of that. I no longer have the ability to do Roger's TV show and be with my audience there, so I reevaluated, and now I'm here, and I'm so excited. This is the way you keep business moving. You evolve and re-evolve, rebirth. Okay? There's always a chance to rebirth, and this is an excellent time to do it. Now, I'm going to answer a few questions. Again, if you guys want to join me, the link is right there. As you saw, Debbie was able to join us today, so I don't think anybody's going to have a really big problem joining us. Again, turn off your computer, turn on your computer. You guys know the routine. And join me, come sit with me. So now let's talk about when you have a business that's been successful or you started, how do you promote that? Okay, so networking and promotions has always been a little difficult for me, but I'm starting to realize how to move it forward. How do you move it forward? You find people of like kind. As you've seen on my show, I've had animal communicators on, I've had other psychics on. Remember that it's a cross promotion. When you ask people to come on a show or to do things with you, they are in like kind telling their people about you. So you're telling people about them, but they're telling their people about you. Yes, that's right. Social media, fantastic. Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. find 2 or 3 platforms that you like. You cannot do it all. Find the ones that are strongest for you. And one of the things that you can do is use the analytics for all of those. But what if you're not that tech savvy? You don't have to be. Which is the one that you're getting most response from clients, right? Are they connecting to you from Facebook? Are they connecting you through referrals? Where did they get those referrals? Was it from Facebook? Was it from Instagram? Was it from friends? Keep an idea of that. That's a tough one for me because I'm not 100% organized, but it's not that difficult. Social media is fun and it should be fun. One of the things that you have to also take note is that you need to do things with social media that are interactive. In our particular time in society, most things are very visual. People like to interact. People like to see inspiring things. Why do they like to see inspiring things? Okay, here's a really interesting thing. Business used to be profit-driven. This is a really good indication as to how an energetic society we're becoming. We are now compassion-driven. This is actually proven. So we have gone from being profit-driven, what's the bottom line? How much money are we making in this quarter? All of those different things to what can I do for you? How can I serve my community? People are thinking more about how to fulfill their spirits than where to spend their money, if you really think about it. So if I turn around and I have 2 companies, right, that sell bikes, everybody knows I love my mountain bikes, that sell bikes. One who is consistently corporate and says, okay, you know what? I got to think about my bottom line, and they are really pitchy and selly and that kind of stuff. That's a real turnoff for me. But if I go to a company and I walk into a store and all I see is stuff that's environmental, stuff that makes my life better, their bikes are being made in an environmental way or being cared for, or they're connected to environmental organizations. They do fundraisers, work with charity events, all that kind of stuff. That's in alignment with who I am. Most of society is becoming aligned with that. So understand, we come back to the why, okay? Why are you doing this? What is the purpose? What is your end game? The end game has to be self-fulfilling because that's how people will follow. When you have a message, those who believe in that message will come to you. Martin Luther King, really, really good example of that. Million Man March. He didn't think anyone's going to show up. He really didn't. And the reality is his message was so strong that people heard the call. People said, I believe in this message. I'm going. He just believed in a message. He wasn't trying to rally people. He wasn't trying to get them together. He had a message, and whoever was going to show up was going to show up. And they showed up. What is your message? So Kevin Costner, anybody know that particular line? Kevin Costner, really wonderful movie. What line am I thinking of? If you can tell me what line I'm thinking of based on business, based on moving forward, based on building something, you get a free 15-minute read. Okay? You get a free 15-minute read. What line am I thinking of? Kevin Costner, we're just talking about when you do things and you believe in them and you have a message, what will they do? Okay. Marie-Claude Desrosiers, hello, how are you? I work with children. I was questioning myself about if I was in the right place, and I am, so I'm lucky to be able to change of school because of the misunderstanding. Okay, so see, that's a thing too. When we become honest with ourselves, truthful in any situation, you will find that every situation at work will resolve itself. It's about knowing your truth. Even if somebody else doesn't know their truth, as long as you step up and know yours, in any situation, family, friends, work, it will resolve itself and a middle ground will always be met. That is a really good thing to talk about. Because when we're working with a company, especially if we own our own, you're going to find hiccups are going to happen. People are going to resist new ideas, especially if your company is innovative. And I know there are a lot of innovators out there that are watching and who are going to watch. So understand that if you have your message, if you have your truth, if you have your why, it's going to come. You are correct, Marie-Claude Desrosiers. If you build it, they will come. Kevin Costner, and the movie was, oh my God, it's gone out of my head. The movie was Tell me the movie. Tell me the movie. Anybody who tells me the movie will get another 15-minute read. It is, oh, I remember the name of the movie. Do you? If you build it, they will come. That's true. And that's what he did. He stood by something he believed in. And that's really where our society is going with business. It is about compassion and passion. How can I serve? If you know how you can serve society, your clients are going to come. Really great example of that, Mech. It's a sports store. You can take back anything at Mech at any time if you are not pleased with the product. Doesn't matter when. Don't even need a receipt. You go back, they exchange it. Why? Because it's not about the business. How can I serve you? And they know, because they're smart, that you're going to come back because they've treated you well. Right? So these businesses are really, really important. And please understand, I don't have any sponsorship by anybody. These are just my experiences with people. Okay. Field of Dreams, Glenda Lee, you rock. So Glenda Lee, you get a 15-minute read too. Okay. So I have been working, Carmel says, I have been working with the same company, and I feel helping people brings me tons of joy. I have had to reinvent myself over and over again. Absolutely. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Whether you own a business or whether you're in business, there's always going to come a transition point where you need to re-evolve and allow that. And the re-evolution isn't just about business, it's about your personal life. What happens there happens in business. What happens in business happens in your personal life. They are integrated. But your business doesn't have to be your identity. Your identity is your spiritual truth, okay? Or your spirit truth. I don't like to use the word spirituality because people think religion. So how do you use your intuition in business? Okay, this is about looking at a situation, taking stock, and asking yourself, how does this feel? I was watching a show yesterday, and it was really interesting because one of the characters said to another character, how do I know if I've done something right, if I've picked the right choice? And the other character looked at him and said, you already know what the right choice is. And what's really interesting is it's so true. We already know what the right choice is. We can feel it. It's whether or not we dismiss it and whether or not we choose to have the courage to act on it. Because sometimes it is so hard to act on the truth, especially with business. Why is that? Because it's our bread and butter. It's what keeps the roof over our head, because we've been conditioned to believe that without money, without the success of material wealth, we're not going to feel successful, we're not going to feel empowered, and we're not going to be worth something in society, and people will look at us a certain way. However, when we begin to understand that we are empowered by the energetic choices we make, the money follows. I don't know how many times a day that I actually say this to clients. It's huge. The choices we make are the truths we live. Okay? The reality is everything in our view, everything that is in front of us, we have co-created. We've done that for good, for bad, for ugly, for chaotic. So if your business feels chaotic, sit down and ask yourself, what's so chaotic about it? What do I need to make more specific? What is my truth about my business, right? What is that thing that feels right? And yeah, sometimes it's going to be scary. This is why we have other people to talk to and connect with. This is another thing business owners do that's a huge mistake for me, and I've made it. We try to do it ourselves. We try to work within a bubble. It's my company. It's my responsibility. I have to burden it. Nobody has to. Gandhi had an entourage of people that he worked with. Martin Luther King had an entourage. For heaven's sake, so did Christ. He had his apostles, people. Okay? So my reality is, regardless of what aspect of your life we're talking about, you cannot do things in a vacuum. You have to have people that you trust to use as a sounding board, and don't be scared to. Those people that you trust can help you to recognize those truths, like those two characters in that show. How do I know if I'm doing the right thing? You already know what the right thing is. One statement that changed the entire thing. That was the tipping point in the show. So when it comes to business, it's very, very simple. What do you want out of it for yourself? What do you want to offer your society? Start with your own community, okay? Start with your own community. What do you want to offer? What do I want to offer? I want to offer the knowledge that everyone is intuitive. I want to share the knowledge of how that's done. That is a really important thing for me. I want everyone that I touch and connect to understand their own intuitive abilities and how they can apply them in real life. So if I have something that's very, very, very difficult when it comes to decision making in my business, I sit down and I ask myself, okay, what is it that I need here? You know, why do I need that? Why do I need to make that move to go online and do a TV show? Is it merely because I want a celebrity and I want people to notice who I am? Or is it because I want to give back? Or is it a little bit of both, right? What is my why? And then once I have that and my personal why, I challenge that personal why. I find someone else, in my case, it's either going to be my assistant or it's going to be my man, usually my man because he's very grounding. And I will say, okay, here's what I want to do. Poke holes in it. Please poke holes in it. Because the more holes you poke, the more I can sit and think about what my why is and why I want to do what I want to do so that it can be stronger. And you pare it down and you pare it down and pare it until you feel that solidity and you're going, yes, this is the movement forward. Okay. Satisfaction in your heart. Kamel, that's a very good way of putting it. All right, so the lines are open, so to speak. I am going to put the, what do they call it? The link again for everybody to notice. And if you want to join me, you're more than welcome. You know, I love it when we have guests on. So how does this affect our children? How does this affect our kids? Well, the schooling system was created at the turn of the century, before 1920. So we put children behind a desk and we trained them to focus, to work 9 to 5, to become what we needed them to be in an office environment, in a construction, in a labor environment, all of those different things. We are different. I have seen it many times where we've talked about, many people have talked about, we need to change our system in order to help our children within the environment and society we're in now, because we're really not 9 to 5ers anymore. And you see a lot of kids, they need to move, they need to shake. My particular son, when he was very young, was lucky enough to have teachers who understood that every 20 minutes a kid needs to move. So they would ask him to do something every 20 minutes and another child to do something every 20 minutes to keep them going, because that's what we are. We're a much more physically active society. Even our elders are much more physically active than they've ever been in history. So what's happening with isolation, to me, and not to a lot of people, but to me, because I was a homeschooler, is awesome. It's giving kids a chance to experience a different way of learning and studying. I want to hear everybody talk and their perspectives on schooling and how they're feeling about school and isolation right now if you have kids, because this does pertain to business. You know, my son right now is doing better than he ever has because he's an independent learner. And a lot of kids are independent. I mean, they're all very individual. Some kids need so much structure, but again, that structure can be given. I even said to him, if there is an option of going back to school or staying home, do a couple of days in school and then do a couple of days at home if you feel the need, because he likes the socialization of school. Okay, you can socialize with distance, with homeschooling as well. But at his age, I think school is very important because there are things that can be given that I can't. Because he's in technology, I don't have the kind of cutting edge technology that he would need to have access to in a school. However, if it's academic, okay, use your computer, what have you. Okay, so my big thing is this. We are now showing kids that it is possible to be able to be productive while working at home, which is, when you look at a work situation, this goes right back to the beginning of the show when I said most people are probably going to start working from home. A lot of companies are going to allow people to work from home more and more and more and more and more. So now we're getting our kids ready, or at least giving them a taste of what might come for them. Okay, so this isolation has actually been really great. We're also challenging kids to be a bit more creative. So my son has a 10 o'clock to 2:30 time frame where he has to do his homework, and then he's only allowed to do educational things. He loves to cook. Go on YouTube, find cooking things. He loves to work with computers. Fine, go check that kind of stuff out. He likes art. Okay, go do some drawing. You know, look at what's on the computer, go read some books, go draw, go listen to music. Then after 2:30, you want to play on the computer with your buddies, go for it. I'm okay. An hour a week or 2 hours a week, we got to do something really physical. So he has a really nice structure, but it's on his time and his terms, which I really like. As an entrepreneurial mom, I like that because I understand it, and that's always been my life. For those who have more of a 9-to-5 lifestyle, this can be a little bit more difficult, but it's a new experience. And when we're open to those new experiences, guess what? We can take those new experiences that have infiltrated our lives, and we can take that into our business. Right? Yes, I'm 9-to-5, but you know what? Once a week, maybe I want to do things a little bit different. Maybe I have to because my son is at home or my daughter is at home, and now I have to work from home too. I don't have a choice. Maybe taking a look at it and hearing it as how could I incorporate that a little later on for myself and how it can help my clients may be something you want to look at. Again, all of this is energetic. All of this is about sitting back and saying, what is my truth? What is so comfortable for me? And how can I evolve and re-evolve with the times? I like that. Debbie Marcos says, freedom creates fun. And it does. And that does not mean that we can't have structure within that. Not at all. Because my reality is I can have fun, anywhere. I can have fun anywhere, but I can also have structure anywhere. Right? If I'm going for a bike ride, I might have a route that I am going on because I know that's a safe route or I know that's a fun route or whatever. But in the same time, I can stop to smell the roses. And if I want to change that route a little bit, I have the freedom to do so. And in helping me, then I take that feeling into the work I do, which is amazing. I love it. So experience and explore. And then comes the last part, having that open mind. When it comes to business, we are all looking to be innovators. We are all looking to do something new. How can I be different in something that's been done a million times over? Because the reality is that so many things in this world have been done. We're just reinventing the wheel. But we're reinventing it in such a way that we're tweaking it, making it better, making it ours, and putting our brand on it. So now it's about keeping your mind open and being wholly rounded. When I was pregnant with my son, very interesting thing, my one wish to the gods was that he would be wholly rounded. I wanted him to experience art and culture and all of these different things. And I thought that after homeschooling, he completely dismissed it. Well, now that we're in isolation, I'm seeing him come back to it all of his own accord. Right? He's very politically minded. He's very artistic. He's got all of these wonderful interests. And yeah, sometimes he deals with, sometimes he blows off. But the reality is that our children today are in a space that they can actually be examples for us and vice versa. We have the opportunity right now to explore and enjoy. We don't have to go out to the gallery right now. You can find on YouTube free weekends of music by the New York Philharmonic and the New York Symphony. Right? Stratford Festival is airing plays that I personally can't afford to go to for a season. Love to, but I can't. So my reality is this. There are ways to open your mind to the new, which will infiltrate and which will influence your business. All right, Natalie. She says, I'm in the process of bringing in new services and struggle with pricing. Good one. When I set a price, I revisit it and then doubt what I've set it at, conflicted on my self-worth and trying to make it affordable and fair for everyone. Do I focus on me or others? Oh my God, that is the most incredible, wonderful question. Oh my God, Natalie, thank you for that. Okay. When it comes to pricing, I am in the same boat. I'm always afraid of charging more. In fact, I've had clients at the beginning of my career who actually yelled at me because they're like, you're not charging more. You don't know your worth. And I actually had clients leave because I didn't charge enough. Funny enough. Isn't that weird? So when it comes to pricing, you can do this several ways. One, ask your clients. Put out a form. SurveyMonkey is really good. I really like them. As well as there's another one that I really like called, I can't remember what it's called now. It is called Survey Hero. That is the one I use now, Survey Hero. Put a survey together and ask people, do you think my prices are fair? Do you like our services? How do you think we should improve our services? Ask them what kind of price range they like. My thing to do, though, my number one thing to do, Natalie, is I look at other psychics. So I know right now for me that an hour reading is between $175 and $200. That is the average. For me, I charge $125 plus taxes because I know what my target market audience is. My target market audience is women from 35 to 45, and I know that I want to work with pets. What do these people, what kind of income do they have? Okay. Then you look at the average income of a 35-year-old woman. You look at the average income of somebody who owns pets and has children. That's how you can determine what kind of pricing you do. So yes, I got to look to me. What do I need? What do I feel instinctively is a fair price? And then I go and I do my homework. The other thing that you can do too is you can call. I took a business course and it was really, really cool. They said, call your competition, right? Call them and see what they're offering for the money that you're getting. But we don't really have to do that as much anymore. Sorry, this was a long time ago in another lifetime when I was actually a kid. You can go online and find out, right? So go online, see what other people are pricing. And if you want to go a little bit lower, go a little bit lower. If you want to match that, match that. Make sure that your website is really, really clean and easy to maneuver through. And it's pleasant to look at because people will actually buy from websites and from people who are visually attractive. That's just the way it is. We're such a visual thing. And what do you have to offer? Again, what you have to offer has to be about them. So the more you have to offer them, the more you can see how to set prices, right? So if I was offering 4 years worth of experience, I'm not going to charge $200. But if I have 17, 20 years, 30 years of experience, I'm now an expert in my field. So as an expert in my field, I can match those particular things if I so choose. I also work on a sliding scale. So if I have somebody that I know is in crisis, or it's a kid or whatever, this is a different story altogether. So I have those independent prices. And I also have friend and family prices. So these are different things you can look at. But the biggest thing for you is actually go online, check out everybody else, and see what their prices are and try to be competitive with them. Okay? Awesome. Marie-Claude, I love it from home. Hang on a second. I'm just going to go like this. So I hope that helped, Natalie, by the way. So again, you got to use your instinct first, and then from there, that's where you do your homework. That's the way I work. I love it from home. I don't need to deal with discipline, and I'm not a computer person, but it is difficult for a working parent from home and have to take care of the kids too. Absolutely. I was just talking to one of Joseph's teachers yesterday. She's got 2 little kids, never had to do it from home. She finds it challenging. Absolutely, it's challenging. Again, new experience. How do we evolve and re-evolve with it? Because as we take that journey, we will find that when we go back to what we were doing, we're going to start looking at it differently. Even if it's not a conscious thing, it becomes a subconscious thing, and there's going to be a whole new way of perceiving the students, perceiving the kids, perceiving your own children. Okay. Natalie, thank you. Yes, I will do that. Yes, that's a really big thing. Very simple little things that you can do is check out your competition. As long as there is structure at home. If not, it'll be difficult to get back into things. Yes, I agree with that wholeheartedly. Like I said, my son is 10 to 2:30. He fought that for a little bit at first, but yes, there has to be structure, because without structure, they don't learn that when they go into the workforce, that even when there is some free flow, that there's still at least some framework. And that's important even for you as an entrepreneur, to be an example for your children or for your clients, to say, hey, you know what? I'm organized. I have some discipline, but look, I can free flow as well. That's something that's a beautiful balance that people and clients look for. Okay. They love the free flow in a business owner. They love the free flow in the people that they go to, but they have to know that when they put their, visa through, that it's going to go through safely. They have to know that when they book an appointment, you're going to show up for that appointment, right? So there has to be one foot in this world and one foot in your energetic world. That balance is really, really important. And it's not difficult to maintain. Everybody goes, oh, work-life balance is so hard. It's not hard. It's not. The reality is as hard as you make it, if you know your why, things are going to start falling into place. If you are specific, things are going to fall into place. They just tend to open up. People think it's magic. People think it's frou-frou. It's actually not. It's just being in alignment with who you are, which puts you in alignment with the universe, which puts you in alignment with those clients who are looking for what you have to offer. And there are billions of people in the world. So I guarantee you that you're going to find people who are in alignment with you. Okay? You're going to find that. Just know your why. All right? Cheryl, my kids will be going to kindergarten in the fall, first time at school. Oh, that's so awesome. It's going to be very different for them. It's going to be a very, very different life. I'm very interested to see what high school students are going to be like. Like mine's going to be in grade 12. So that's going to be a very different way of being for him. Any questions? Anything anybody would like to know? Anybody want to come and sit with me? Please ask. Jamie, how are you? Hello, my love, she says. Well, hello, my love. These have been fantastic questions. I'm just going to, back a little bit to see if I've missed anybody, which I'm sure I have. Yes, Avril Singer has asked, wait a second. She's asking, are any of my dear departed dogs coming through? Yeah, I have 2 dogs coming through for you. One feels like it's multicolored, and I can see a smaller one coming through as well. They just feel really good. They don't have anything, in fact, to say. It's just about you wanting to know how they are. Your animals, and I just got that information, your animals are just, I don't know how to say it, ferociously good. Treats. The one that's multicolored has treats, really loving the treats, really into the treats. Having a good time. They're lovely. If there's anything specific you want to know, please ask. I will more than happily answer your questions. Anybody else have any questions? Avril says also, my son Darren, will his business be okay? Yes, it will. In fact, I really like the time he's going through now because he is reevaluating and he's going to make things stronger for when things open up. He's really great that way. Debbie says, always thank you from Aquarius to a Gemini. You make sense to me. Oh, that's so nice. I think that's one of the things I really love is that I find that all the people who come to me are not only very grounded, they ground me, but they're relatable and they're easy to talk to. You know, a lot of people say that when they talk to me, it feels like they're talking to a friend. Well, back at you. You know, this is one of the reasons I love the whole concept of, my coffee, my cat, and my curiosity, because that's what my clients are. They're coffee people. I do coffee reads. And coffee reads when we go to a coffee shop and we just do reads in a relaxed environment. And my clients are open to it. They always understand if I have to reschedule something, which is a rare occasion, but if I have to reschedule, there's a good reason for it and they're pliable to that. I call my tribe, and my tribe is awesome. I'll bleep that out later. But it's awesome. So Lori, Kismet, Karma, and Keebler send their love, my ferret friends. Debbie, you should meet Lori if you don't know her already because she's got a ferret too. That's like so cool. Jamie says, how about a sneak peek into the lockdown future? You know what? Lockdown future actually doesn't look as bad as everybody thinks. I feel like things, and astrologists have shown this too, are going to open. As of July, I see things more opening, especially from the 2nd and 3rd week on. And then in September, I feel like a new norm is going to happen. Not everybody is going to get rid of the social distancing those little plaques they have on the floor and, the masks and things like that. But the reality is I think things are going to start moving forward. Is there going to be a second wave? Yeah, okay, there's probably going to be something, but it's not going to be as big as everybody thinks it is. I'm not seeing that. Watch the markets. Some things are going to happen, especially economically with housing. We're already seeing that a little bit. But I think things will really start to move as of February, March of next year. We're going to kind of sit in the new norm, and the new norm isn't going to be as Orwellian as people first anticipated. I really believe that. Nostradamus and others have seen that this will go as quickly as it has come. My issue, and a lot of others have an issue with, not the virus, to be honest with you. What we have an issue is how society has been addressing this. But even then, now we're kind of reevaluating. We've gone through the panic mode. Now we're reevaluating, going, how are we going to deal with this? trust. Because we're a strong society, eventually we sit back and go, what can we do to move forward? Let's band together, whether that's in a family situation or in a community situation. Lori Carrier is a freaking awesome example of that. Through COVID, her daughter owns a costume rental place. Can you please put it down there and the website, Lori, if you're still with us? And what she did was on Easter, the Easter Bunny traveled around her area, which I thought was phenomenal. For birthdays, you know, Lori will go out and she will have her and her daughter and her family do these charitable acts. You wonder why people come to her, right? She understands who she is. Her love is her why. She wants people to know love, to know compassion, to know the reality of what's that really like when you feel it and somebody feels it for you. And that costume shop is an extension of who she is and her family. It's like, you see her, you see Crystal, she is just like a mini Lori. She really is. Like, she's really cool. Anyway, Lori, please put that down here, and I want people to see your company, and you guys can check out her website. There it is. It's showcasecostumes.ca, 905-722-5921. We love having fun. If you have a business, today is the day to put it down here. I want other people to see it. I want them to have access to your business so that my fans are your people too, because you're all of like mind. So if you have a business, put it down here. Debbie, put it down here. Natalie, put it down here. I want everybody to put their stuff down here. I think it's really, really amazing. You're making me cry. Love you. Oh, Lori, I love you too. Now, see, Lori's cool too, because, you know, she brings people to my show. Not just to my show, but to my show on Raising Energy on Rogers. We're constantly giving each other. It's an energetic trade. And the more you energetically trade, okay, here's a really great example. So I was talking to a friend of mine because I reached out to an old PR agent who I was thinking about 2 days before I reached out. No, she reached out to me. I was thinking about her. She reached out for a reading and we started talking. So recently we did a media blitz. The first article just came out yesterday. It was really, really great. auburnlane.com. It's for women, very empowering. When I was talking to my friend, Sonia, who wrote this article, she had mentioned it's time to network. It's time to reach out to other people so that they can blog for me. So we can do return blogs, pingbacks, all that kind of stuff. Not a day later, one of my students from an animal communications company called me and said, I want to do an in-kind. I want to write articles for you. You write articles for me. I will put you down as my reference for an animal communicator. This is a dog trainer. And this is really great because she's very in line with the way I think. She came to me after this conversation, after I'd been thinking about it for a week, after I've gotten all these validations and confirmations that, yeah, you know what, maybe this is the way. I was still feeling a little doubtful. And then my validation came with this particular person, Karen. She's amazing. So my reality is this. When you dream, when you plan, when you are specific, the doors will open. You don't have to be special. You don't have to be a psychic intuitive for this to happen. You need to be you. Okay. Jamie says, wow, thanks. www.bpic.com. That's really cool. I want to check that one out. I don't even know that one. Jamie, that's awesome. Avril, my aged mom's memory has gone really bad. My stepfather passed away from COVID, and since then her memory is worse. Is she going down too? Her focus is so much your dad. It's not about going down. She just doesn't, it's not about not caring. Her focus is fully your dad now. So other things just aren't in her frame of reference, to be honest with you. So memory is not a big thing for her at the moment. It's just thinking about your dad, thinking about your dad, thinking about your dad. Have you ever been through those moments where just everything just doesn't matter for the moment? Is she going to go down? Yeah, she's going to become more fragile. I don't see her going anywhere anytime soon, but love her. You know, spend time with her, comfort work, send angels. I ask and give permission to all those of the light to comfort my mother. Okay. And that's the other thing too. Energetically, if you want to bump your business, if you want to do something for yourself in business, I ask and give permission to all those of the light to help my business move forward, to help me find my why, to help me become more specific, to help me find the website person. My favorite one right now for business, please write this down, everybody. I ask and give permission to all those of the light to bring me my professional tribe. So easy. Ooh, a leaf just fell as I said that, so lightly. I ask and give permission to all those of the light to bring me my professional tribe. Once again, everybody, I've had a really great time with you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for sitting with me. I hope you've learned a lot. I've learned a lot from you. Please just, if you want after the show, even put your business in the comments. Remember that after the show, people actually will watch this on YouTube and all the other platforms that I put this on. Thank you for always supporting me and supporting my business and who I am, because this is my give back in this lifetime. You can find out more about me at raisingenergy.com, Instagram at Raising Energy, Twitter at Raising Energy, LinkedIn, Raising Energy. Everything is about raising energy. You can also check out my animal specific website, which is angelmorganpetpsychic.com. These also have Facebook pages, so please be sure to check those out. And I hope everybody has a fantabulous day. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a wonderful afternoon.